Hi, I'm Mike. Welcome to Nowhere Bound. And I want to tell a story about adventure. This story was supposed to be about driving my Jeep in the mountains of Colorado over rugged terrain on beautiful trails with sweeping mountain views. It was supposed to be about an adventure in Colorado that was to begin 3 days ago. I started this journey near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I live. And I've done this trip before. It takes 3 days. I can get to Denver and I can get into the Front Range in 3 days from Pittsburgh fairly easily. I'm now on day 6. And I've made it as far as Topeka, Kansas. This obviously isn't the Rocky Mountains. This obviously is not wilderness where I was hoping to be at this point. So far, this story is about a Jeep that I bought several months ago. It's a 2021 Jeep Wrangler Willys that I very much bought specifically for this trip. This is a story about how that Jeep has failed me miserably, and how I've had this Jeep to 3 different dealerships in the past 6 days on the I-70 corridor, and none of the 3 dealerships could fix the problem. This story is about a strange situation with a corporate supply chain that would be Mopar supplying parts to their dealers, and no dealers seem to have the parts that I need. And the story this week culminates with me being stranded here in Topeka, Kansas for a few days against my will on a vacation that I had planned for a year that has cost a lot of money so far, that I had been looking forward to, and is completely off the rails, not going my way. This is about a major curveball thrown at me, and I just got to take it in stride and appreciate where I ended up. I mean, this is a beautiful place. I could certainly be stranded in worse places, but this is not the trip that I had planned at all so far. I don't even know at this point if I'll end up in the Rocky Mountains like I had been wanting to. This is still unfolding, and we're just going to have to see how it goes, but where do I even start? I'll just start at the beginning. This was 6 days ago. I'm here with my buddy Joe. We just finished a gig. This is the night before I'm headed to Colorado. I'm leaving first thing in the morning, and Joe's the last person I'm going to see.
I'm the last human being that he will see until we hear from him.
Yep. So
be safe, my brother.
I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to getting away from everybody.
I'm sure you are.
Except you.
I'm sure you are. You're gonna come back looking crazy, and I can't wait.
Hopefully skinnier. All right, love you, brother.
Love you, man.
Okay, this is it. We're pulling away for a month. 70 all the way to Colorado. One straight shot for 1,200 miles. No more turns until we're there. It's getting pretty late in the day and I still don't know where we're going to sleep tonight. So we're going to pull over at the next rest area and stretch our legs a little bit and figure that out. Welcome to morning one of the big trip to Colorado. We're here at Holdfast Farms. It's an alpaca farm just outside of Dayton, Ohio. This is a Harvest Host stop. If you're not familiar with what Harvest Host is, it's basically a subscription you can join through an app where you can find farms, wineries, breweries that will let you camp on their property for free. It's just pretty cool to be here and see all the animals and camp around them, and it's a unique experience. They're all looking at her. One day of driving in the books. I have a broken Jeep. The problem started about 30 miles before we arrived here last night. Made it all the way across the state, and then I noticed we were losing power. The gas mileage dropped way down and I could feel the engine vibrating a little bit. I'm going to call the dealer. The local dealer here is only 15 minutes away. See if I can get the Jeep in today and get it fixed. It's a little frustrating, but I'm glad the problem happened now and I can take care of it and I won't have to deal with it the rest of the time. So I'm going to call the Jeep dealership. Stay tuned. I'll keep you posted on how that goes. There's no way I can drive any further. Well, just finished at the dealership and the Jeep's fixed. They said it was just a software update. O2 sensor was misreading and they updated the software on the ECU. Supposedly that took care of the problem. They drove it. Everything seems okay, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. We're pulling out and it's 1:25 in the afternoon. But at least we have a fixed Jeep. Holdfast Farms was a very pleasant stay. Very, very nice people. If you're coming through and need a place to park your RV for a night, definitely come here. It's near Dayton, off of Interstate 70. All right, let's hit the road. We are just east of St. Louis. It's about 7:30 almost. Cracker Barrel it is. That's where we're headed now. Good morning. Morning 2. We're behind Cracker Barrel. And here's the setup. That's where we slept last night. Got a beautiful sunrise this morning. It's starting to feel like an adventure here. The plan today is to put on miles, as many miles as we can. I want to make it at least to the end of Kansas today, and I think we can do it. So all right, let's get this day started. This fantastic fan didn't quite do the job in the warm, muggy weather last night, so I came up with this hack. I had this little fan, little portable fan, and I figured out that the base hangs perfectly on the handles to these cabinets, just like this. There it is, voila. And now I have the fan pointing straight down towards me where I sleep, and I have it plugged in over on the jackery. Ozark land looks interesting. The sign says road trip tradition, so how can I pass that up?
No, this isn't 70. This is in Fulton. Your map.
Maybe 7.
I can relate to that. Well, this sucks. I have a broken Jeep again. Second time already in 3 days. Hopefully this dealer will fix the actual problem. They think it's a fuel injection issue. And on the bright side, I'll have a air conditioner again tonight, and I'll take a shower, and there's a dog-friendly brewery that we're going to go to right now. I think I'm going to have several. Okay, so we just left the Jeep dealership number 2 of the trip. The Jeep is back on the road. The problem was that the valve cover gasket was leaking and oil was dripping onto the O2 sensor. So they fixed the gasket, they cleaned up the O2 sensor, but they don't have the part to replace it. They weren't going to be able to get it for 5 days. So they graciously offered to clean the O2 sensor the best they could and put it back in, although it is corrupt now since it is malfunctioned, and they can't guarantee that it's going to work. So, okay, it's time for a burger and a beer. I've lost an entire day dealing with this Jeep, and by the time I go and break camp, hit the road, find somewhere to stay tonight, you know, I'm better off just getting an early start in the morning. So we should be in Colorado by now, and I still have at least another day and a half of driving. We will see how it goes. Stay tuned. The adventure is only beginning. Okay, it's now Friday morning, which this would be morning 4 at Walnut Grove Campground, just outside of Kansas City. Unexpected 2-night stay here, but hopefully the Jeep is going to get us all the way to the end of Kansas today, finally. I was expecting to be in Colorado yesterday. This kind of sucks, but shit happens. We're just going to take it in stride and put it on the adventure list. Okay, check engine light is on again. I am about to visit my third dealer in 4 days to try to get this Jeep fixed. The sensor went bad again, and I'm done. I am done. Topeka, Kansas, dealer number 3. If you're going to be stranded in Kansas, it could be worse than this. This is the end of day 5, going into night 5, and we should have been in the Rocky Mountains 2 days ago. We lost 2 days because of that Jeep and the O2 sensor issues. It runs, but it doesn't run well. And there's no way I'm taking it into the backcountry in its current state. So I'm gonna say goodnight for now. Tomorrow morning, I'll give you a full breakdown of what's happening with the Jeep. Okay, so here's where we are with the Jeep. The dealership here in Topeka told me that I have 3 bad O2 sensors, not just one. And they had, scratch that, they didn't have any of the O2 sensors at their dealership. They found one of them at another dealership nearby. They brought it in and installed it. They told me that the other 2 O2 sensors would take 5 days to get here. They told me that on Friday, which means if I had to wait 5 days, I would have been stranded here until the following Friday. That's a full additional week on top of the 4 days that 1 week plus 2 days. So 9, 10 days, whatever, out of the month that I took off of work to do this trip. 10 days is not acceptable. Even this much is not acceptable to me. So I told them I would do some research. I went on eBay myself, found the parts on eBay, ordered them, confirmed with their parts department, with their service department, that those were the correct parts that I ordered. I ordered them by the part number, and they're going to be here overnight on the following Monday, which at this point is tomorrow. Now, instead of losing a week, I'm only going to lose another 3 days. So this is going to make 5 days total on this trip lost, gone forever. It's not the end of the world, and I'm hoping that this will finally solve this problem with the Jeep. I'm kind of at my wit's end. If something else happens on this trip, I'm likely to trade it in at the first dealership I find for anything else other than a Jeep, as long as it can pull this camper. So I'm left with some questions. Why have I gone to 4 different Jeep dealerships? 3 on this trip alone, and this problem still isn't fixed. Why was I able to get the parts myself on eBay overnight when Jeep doesn't have the parts anywhere and they're requiring a 5-day wait? Everyone's blaming supply chain issues, but there's no supply chain issue if I did it myself. The supply chain issue is within Jeep and their dealerships. In my personal opinion, this was a complete failure on Jeep's part to service their customer with a Jeep that's still under warranty, a vehicle that I bought intending to rely on it for what it was supposedly built for. I wanted to take this in the mountains, and I can't even make it through the Great Plains. It's almost laughable, and whatever. I'm here, I'm making the best of the situation, and life goes on. Stay tuned for next week. I will keep you posted and let you know how this mess turns out. In the meantime, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. like the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you again nowhere soon. Hopefully next time it'll be in the Rocky Mountains in a Jeep that works. Thanks for watching, and take care.